Hello guys, welcome to Azito TV Leadership and Governance. I'm your host Brian Kennedy, and today we are privileged to have Sir David Ndwati, Youth President in Kenya. So we are going to discuss about some issues concerning the youth in broad, from partnerships, getting tenders in the government sector, the youth empowerment funds, the Huslersfund, and also the CRB issue that was addressed by the President William Ruto.
Wazito TV, enable the future of humanity.
Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Glad to be finally in Wazito, after a long time, after elections. I'm good to be in Nakuru County and to be talking to many young people, millions of them who are watching us, and good job you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
So maybe an overview of who is Sir Ndwati.
Well, good. I actually call myself, or I should be considered to be the number one youth advocate in this country. One of the key things that I have as a person is a passion for the young people. And as a youth rights defender, I've been on the forefront to champion for the rights of young people in this country across the board, to ensure that any young person from whichever part of the country is well represented. And not only that, to give the hope. We have to keep hope alive, but again, we have to keep on fighting for the youth. And as young people, it's our core belief that without doing that, we might not end up, getting the upper hand of the stick. So myself, as a current youth leader and also outgoing youth president of the Youth Nation, I am committed to youth rights united in terms of unity, fighting for the young people, fighting for the youth inclusivity, youth economic empowerment interventions as part and parcel of youth development in this country. So that's just a small part of my description. I can go on and on.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so awesome. So let's do first things first. They say first things first.
Yes.
So speaking about youth rights, what do you think are some of the reasons why youths are not united? Yeah.
Well, there's a conventional understanding of what a right is. But in this case, we are talking about rights of of individuals.
Yeah.
Specifically, we are looking at, the disadvantaged minority. And I wouldn't even say it's the minority, because the youth are the majority in terms of numbers. But the right of an individual is enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya. And part of it includes now the stages of that individual's life. We have early childhood, we have the teenage, and then the adulthood, and on and on. But the part of the young people has the right in terms of access to information, access to opportunities, inclusivity in terms of government appointments, and empowerment opportunities. That's the right we are talking about. When young people are left outside, that fundamental provision of their right, that becomes now the concern of the Youth Nation. And as a youth leader, I am going to keep on fighting for that right until the day that we'll see the young people are liberated from any oppressive arrangements that deny them their rightful right as young people.
Wow, that's awesome. Following up on that, do you think that the youth are not aware of the Constitution in a large extent?
No, the issue is not even the information. It's not about the Constitution, because the Constitution in itself represents the foundational legal rights of every Kenyan. But what is lacking, it is the implementation of these rights. Okay, now we have empowerment opportunities as a right for the young people. When you talk about AGPO and the youth access the government procurement opportunities, that's their right. But is that right being implemented? When you talk about Employment Act, which constitutes that all the appointments in government, 25% of them should be given to the young people. Are they aware of that? And if they are aware, what is the implementation model of attaining or achieving those rights? So the young people is not what I wouldn't say it's about the information. It's about the implementation. If I tell you there's money, okay, and you are told that when you go to this office you'll be given the money, and then you go to that office and you are denied that opportunity, even if you have the information, what role does that information give you in terms of participating or benefiting from it? So the question is not about the information, it's about the implementation. And that's why in my previous engagements I've been championing for policy formulations and implementation. I believe going forward with this new administration, I'll be so keen on youth rights implementation and the strategy to engage the young people and involve them in the process of implementing these rights that belong to the young people.
Wow. Now, speaking about the implementation part, I would love maybe to inquire for my viewer. So, what do you think? What's the role of the youth in implementing? Maybe let's say in getting government tenders, in parastatals, in other government, in short, in the government institution. What's the role of that viewer in implementing whatever their right is?
Well, the first thing that we must understand, when you go for these opportunities, it's not a favor from government. When you present yourself as a young person, it's not a favor from a politician. We should step away from that notion that for you to succeed in this country, you have to know a certain individual. That is where we go wrong. So the young person who is watching must understand the first thing is position yourself. When these opportunities present themselves, are you following up? And when you go and knock the door and they don't open, do you stop knocking or you just go home? So the first thing is to ensure that this is a right, and that is why we have to fight for it. And the youth's right unity is going to give the perspective of implementation. Why? Because if a young person is denied an opportunity, you deny an opportunity to one young man or one young lady, you are denying all the young people the opportunity. So the young people need to present themselves. First of all, acquaint themselves with information. They have to know what is happening. Current affairs in this nation involves 90% revolves around the young people. If you fail to go and knock the door, then you're denying yourself an opportunity. And that's how the entrepreneurs who are taking advantage of the young people, they know young people, they are not consistent. And when they are presented with hurdles, then they give up too easily. We have to stop that and now revise a culture of now perseverance and also kujituma. Yeah. Unajua kijana huwezi kaletewa nafasi ukiwa umelala nyumbani. Wewe jitume, ukiona kuna nafasi tumezitaja, and that's the role that we are doing as Youth Nation. Sisi tuambia nafasi za vijana ziko mahali fulani, hatutawaletea kwa nyumba. Wewe toka, inua mguu yako, tuambie okay, nafasi ziko mahali fulani. Tunaenda pia kutengeneza pia njia ya information ipatikane kwa vijana mashinani, so that vijana wakijitokeza pia wanapata nafasi ya kujua chenye tumeambia ina happen kwenye ground, hiyo ndio watapata. And that's the only way the young people will now liberate themselves from that oppressive ideology and mentality that if I'm a young person and I have been presented with the opportunity, it is not attainable. No, they have to come to the reality that these are not favors. This is all about the young person, and also the availability of the young person to be committed in the process. of looking for the opportunity.
Wow. So awesome, my friend. Let me get your comments on the comment section. So like talking about the opportunities presented by the government, we have the bigger youth fund.
Yes.
It's been there for some time now. And I visited the youth fund office, and the information I got that is the issue of legibility, being eligible for this cash, that most of the youth are not eligible for this cash. And then on this eligibility problem or issue rather, you find out that most youths are scared, or rather maybe I can say they are somehow not into a lot of process. Yeah. So like when such funds come, how should they be presented best? Because it's a right.
Yes.
That should be given to them. How should they be presented best to this youth?
Yes, I have come to appreciate that there's been a lot of bureaucratic hindrances for young people, especially when they are looking for opportunities, whether it's the affirmative funds under the youth fund, Weather fund, sports, digital funds, all these funds. And it all boils to the procedural classification. Okay? So one of the key things that we have to eliminate, and that is what I'm pushing for, is restructuring of the implementation of reimbursement in the affirmative funds. So when a young person goes to the office and is told that is not eligible, I think that is where we go wrong. The eligibility of a young person to get an opportunity under the Affirmative Act and the Youth Empowerment Funds is first based on age, opportunity, and also exposure. Okay? So one of the key things that I'll be looking into implementing is introducing now a technologically driven software that allows young people to know the disbursement frameworks, timelines, guidelines, and requirements of the young person. I will be going forward. I'll be keen on implementing Pesa Kazi Mashinani. Pesa Kazi Mashinani will be accessed in a technology platform, so a young person will know where to get the funds, how to apply the funds, and to a certain extent, some funds will not be disbursed through the office.
Wazito TV, enable the future of humanity.